should be able to hear y'all now.
Can y'all hear us now? Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're going to run it back.
Yeah, give us that
One more
again.
again. It is Tuesday, July 9th. Welcome to 30 Something Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa. So before we get into the introductions, we have to give a very happy birthday shout out to Darian, my son, who turned 18, which means I started early. And then today, right, then today is Marie's daughter, Tamia's birthday. She is 12, and then happy birthday to her, and happy birthday to my little cousin, Caden. I don't know how old he is, but he is born today, okay?
Yeah. Happy birthday to everybody.
Yeah. So happy birthday, everybody. So in the studio with me, we have our resident producer, Miss Miko, and our favorite photographer, Chris, is in the building. So guys, tonight we have a jam-packed show. We will be joined by Drea, our co-host, who will give us the what now going on nationally and locally. And then we will be joined by Antoine and Jazzy of Brantley Fine Foods. And they'll give us the up and up on working with your spouse. And Marie over here with her volume on her phone. That's all right, Marie.
I know the volume works.
Right, exactly. And then we'll close out the show with our now infamous question, why are you single? That will be myself and Marie, joined by Jason and Monroe. So guys,
JoJo said Miko with the E.
Bye JoJo. Stay tuned in. Make sure you like, share, and comment throughout the show. We will be reading your comments. Drea, let us know what's going on now.
So what now? I just got a couple of things for y'all. So if you're living in Dallas, the mayor is having his back to school fair. The second 2019. You can go to mayorsbacktoschoolfair.com and you can sign up actually, so you will be able to make sure that you receive those school supplies. And there are certain income levels that you have to be able to receive the benefits. You have to fall within those certain income levels, and also you have to be a resident of the city of Dallas, and also have a child who attends the DISD. So I just want to put that out there.
I'm going to post that. Right?
Yeah. We can post it. And I just want to put it out there because I know, like, back to school, it gets a little crazy with school supplies, and the teachers be asking for all kinds of stuff to shoot, like 17 boxes of tissues and hand sanitizer. I don't ever buy up shit. Y'all might want to. So that's just some good information for y'all who want to, get out there. If you can't afford it in that school, then you can just sign up for it and then have those that resource available to you.
May I get my disclaimer on that? Is that welcome? Great. So, if you buying bundles, do not take your ass to the Mayor's Back to School Bash. No bundle buyers can sign up for free school supplies. If you buy Jordans, I'm going to give you a pass because I'm a Jordan fan.
Oh,
they get a pass, but bundle buyers, no pass.
No.
Let me see who else no pass. Pew pew, it's a 27. I'm joking, guys. Go out, like Drea said, get your school supplies for your kids so my teacher friends won't be on Facebook complaining.
Man, and they do. Like, teachers have to, like, bear the brunt of all the excess expenses that are in the classroom whenever, like, the supplies run out. And, we don't replenish supplies. They say we're supposed to, but we never do. So, the teachers have to bear the brunt of that expense. And I know some of the retailers are actually giving the discounts to the teachers when they have to buy supplies, like reams of paper and things of that sort. Like, I think, was it Target and Office Depot who were giving out those discounts. So y'all just take advantage. I know we have, like, the tax-free weekend coming up. And I'm saying, like, what is it? You gotta, if it's up to $100, like, you can save $8. You don't have to pay the tax.
No idea.
Yeah, but, and it's always crazy, but it's just another way to help, cut costs when you have kids, because things can add up super quickly.
Exactly.
So, moving on from that, we have the Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein. I don't know how to say white people's last names. I'm working on it. Is it Epstein? Epstein?
J-E, y'all.
So, we're going to put up a picture of Jeffrey. child sex trafficking charges, not just regular sex trafficking
Oh
charges.
no, maybe like 14 or shit.
Yeah, and so they were saying that he has potentially serving up to a life sentence. He has like a whole host of girls that he has photos of and has sex trafficked. It has been like up to 40 girls. Oh, here we go. So, Trump's labor secretary Judy Small. The deal allowed Epstein to avoid federal charges and possibly a life sentence. So he ended up serving 13 months for that particular incident. But then there are like other charges that are coming out as well. And at first, Trump was like, I haven't talked to him in like 15 years and all this other stuff. But then is that what he got started down last week? Yeah. And turned out like, they have been kicking it. And so, wow. Trump was like, he's a lot of fun to be with. This is a quote. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life.
And so, whose quote was that?
That's Trump. That's 45.
That's y'all president.
Grabbing him by the vagina. So, I just wanted to send a shout out to all the black people who thought that it was only Bill Cosby and R. Kelly who were being targeted for being predators. So now we have a really rich white man who they felt like that was the whole claim was that rich white men can get away with doing this and then black men do it, and then it's an issue, and of course, like it's deflecting or whatever. But what are they saying now? Like, what do y'all have to say about this? Like, this is an actual bill.
I think I was inaccurate anyways. I was speaking from emotions because there were so many white, and as much as I would love to be like, but no, there's actually so many white men that actually were brought down behind sex trafficking or something dealing with prostitution or sexual assault. Like I want to say almost like 90 or so. Like there was a list that came out, and again, the majority of the list was all rich white.
On How to Catch a Predator, it's always a white person. I think the problem with the black folks is that they didn't want to stop stepping in the name of love.
I think there was that too, but I just feel like within our community, we definitely, when it comes to our men, because we know what their reality is and what they're facing, and so it's like there's never an excuse, but always a reason for their behavior. Oh well, he did this because of this. And, oh well, he did that because of that. No, he's disgusting. He's a predator. He needs to go to jail. And then whenever somebody does something, it's like, oh well, free so and so. No, I think he needs to stay in there. I think he needs to stay in there. Right. But I just thought it was super interesting that I didn't see any of us commenting the way that we were commenting when Bill Cosby went down for hitting the girls with the Spanish fly and saying, oh well, they knew what they were doing and this and that. Nobody has said a word about this situation. Even like with the whole situation with the Catholic Church and the Vatican and all that going down, and them launching like full investigation on the Catholic Church. Nobody said anything.
Well, sometimes I feel like we get joy from free, unfortunately. So it is like was a reason for us to be victim today. So now that we're not like, well, I'm just not.
Well, are we just not tuned in to
that's another
national news and
things
outside of being black? I think that's a lot of it as well, is that they don't expand themselves beyond, BET and VH1.
Or
people that
the
look like
shade
them.
room.
Right.
It's like, if it's not people that look like them, they're not as, in tune. Because even, too, I want to say, they're like, no movies and documentaries came out. It's like, well, actually, this one came out, this one came out, this one. This was 2021.
Right.
Oh, and then BBC did,
Right.
And then they never go back and
hide
watch
this.
it.
No, you just don't care.
You live in a black
care.
bubble.
Exactly.
Right, you live in this black bubble. So about Jeffrey Epstein, and so I'm like super curious as to see like where this is gonna go, and like and also there was this part of this article that says that Trump is going to look into a plea deal for him, but that is a plea deal. He doesn't want him to be here, but y'all trying to have a plea deal for him. That's wild. But we don't expect nothing less. We don't expect anything less from him. But so what is next? Oh, Amber Geiger. So Amber Geiger, her attorneys have filed for a change of venue motion. If you guys aren't familiar, Amber Geiger, she is responsible for the death of Botham John, and she says that she mistakenly, it was September 6, 2018, and she says that she thought it was her apartment that she was going to. She mistaken his apartment for her apartment, and the door was ajar, allegedly, and she went into the apartment, and she ended up subsequently shooting and killing him because she thought that he was an intruder. And at first it was just like a manslaughter charge, right? And so they had the manslaughter charge, but the public it was a public outcry, and everybody was like, it needs to be murder. And then it was a whole conversation about the definition of manslaughter versus murder. And after we got out there and shut down the freeways and whatnot, they finally issued a murder warrant for her. And so she went and turned herself in, I think it was in Coffin County. Mm-hmm. And I think when she turned herself in at that point to Coffin County, then it started to be a question of, well, why did you do that? You know, of course, like, you can get processed faster in smaller counties, but is this like this first step towards trying to get a change of venue? And of course, like now, since the trial's been put, because of the media and everything in Dallas County could possibly influence the verdict. And I feel like if you're not going to switch the state, because I mean,
that's what I'm about to say. That common sense, Dallas Morning News, NBC, Channel 8, all of them.
The major networks.
Yeah, they air in Collin County. Mm-hmm. They air in Rockwall County, where they're trying to get it moved to, and also Kaufman County. So there's like no change in the media supposed influence that they're trying to spin it for. And then didn't they try to use Faith Johnson as problematic towards, I guess, the initial charges is that they said that she was trying to use it to spur her campaign?
I could see why they would spin it that way, but I really feel like they'll have more trouble with the current DA than with her. I do feel like, from a legal standpoint, like if I was her attorney, it would probably be in her best interest to try to get the trial out of town, because you're more than likely, if you go to Podunk, Texas, you're more than likely to get a bunch of people that look like her. You know what I'm saying?
Jurors that can relate to her.
Right, of her peers. Towns who back the blue, like, you know, unequivocally. Like, there's nothing that she could ever do wrong. She was a police officer. It was him, even though he was in his own house. Like, all of these, he had weed in his own house, so he had to have been an intruder in his own home. He scared her. So I feel like, and from her lawyer's standpoint, it's a good move. But I don't think, I mean, it's something that has to be granted by the judge, and I just don't think that the judge would grant it. I think they'd be like, no, you gotta have a fair trial.
Who's the current judge on that trial?
I feel like it's Brandon Birmingham.
No, I know it's a woman.
But yeah, so the Botham John's family was talking about how the people were strategically like leaking the audio from the 911 tape, because the 911 call,
right, it makes her look like she's really trying to render aid, and so concerned. Right.
Come on, bud. Which I felt obviously wasn't sway the opinion and such. Come on, bud. So it's
and
like,
she kept saying like, I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. Like,
which is it's so scripted, because like, come on, bud.
Yeah.
I thought it was my apartment. But then when she's talking about losing her job, then that is completely sways my convincing that she cared in the first place, because who thinks about their job when they kill somebody?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to lose my job.
Right. And I feel like maybe she, I don't know. The dynamic is so different, you know, and I can't sit here and say that all white people are a certain way, but I will say that there's a definite difference in the dynamic between the police and the community, and especially police in the community when it comes to people of color. And it's like you're so quick to shoot first and ask questions later, and then you want to be vindicated for doing that. Like you walked into this man's home, and so
Didn't she make a noise complaint?
They said that she did make a noise complaint about him before because he stays directly above her.
Right. So that concerns me.
Man, but there were so many conspiracy theories. You remember when it happened?
Yeah.
Like, there was like, oh, they slept together, and they was like pulling up pictures.
Yeah,
and
that was
all
actually
together.
And it wasn't even her, and that was the all white people look alike moment. But Bam said her name is Tammy Kemp is the name of the judge who's presiding over
Yes.
Bam.
Bam always been
Okay,
right.
registered immigrant. So what else is going on, Drea?
Man, so we have Sis, doctor and MBA Tisha Rowe from Houston, Texas, on June 30th, tried to hop on an American Airlines plane and fly from Jamaica to Miami. She had her 8-year-old son with her. And her family, and they were traveling back from Jamaica. You see her bag says Jamaica, and I really wish that I had a colorful pic because this outfit is bomb. Like I should have gotten a color because it's multicolored.
Where she was coming from, where
Right.
she was going.
It's multicolored. The bag is multicolored. Like
It's on her Facebook page, isn't it?
Yes, I'm wondering like where she got this from because I need this outfit.
Right.
So Sis say that she went to get on the plane to board, and her outfit was apparently too distracting to enter the plane. And so one of the flight attendants told her that she wouldn't be allowed to board unless she covered up her outfit. And
she called her to the front of the plane after she had already walked all the way to the back to go take a seat in her seat too.
I think that's kind of important.
I missed that part. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I was being nosy. I was reading all the information.
Yeah.
She walked to her seat with her son. She proceeded to put her baggage up. Because I think it's important to detail that, you know, she sauntered on to that seat. And you know how we walk as black women when we holding something as she is. So she was called up to the front by the flight attendant. And that's when she proceeded, like Drea said, to let her know that her outfit wasn't.
Yeah, she called it like off the plane, and then she said to her that like your attire isn't appropriate, and then she asked her to put the blanket on, and of course her son was with her at the time, and so her son starts getting emotional, he starts crying, and she at this point was like, oh, I just want to make this situation go away, and so fine, if y'all want me to come around and put the blanket on, I'll put the blanket on. So as she was putting the blanket on, the other flight attendant was like, I don't want you to make a scene. Don't make a scene.
Right.
She was like, I already said I was going to comply. Like, why are y'all?
And the thing is, she actually, and I'm sorry, she actually offered to put the blanket on because the flight attendant suggested
she changed clothes.
Right.
And she says, I don't have anything, with me to change. But I'll put this blanket on because she's saying she doesn't want it to be an uncomfortable situation for her son, and she wants to go ahead and make the flight and get on with things. Although she was already feeling humiliated and embarrassed, she wanted to make it as least complicated as possible. And so, like you said, when the other flight attendant comes in talking about don't make a scene, and, because she was apparently the angry black woman out of nowhere.
And when I read this story, I was like, well, she must have had on like a swimsuit.
Girl,
instantly I had to figure out what she was
I was like, well,
that's like
pajamas maybe.
And I saw the romper. I was like, well, I got one, but don't feel like that. I wish it did, but I was seeing like even when I was coming back from Jacksonville this weekend, it was like a little Asian girl, and she had on like a bandeau top and like some really short high-waisted shorts. I felt like
it dropped down though. The problem is the Asian girl just and then our sisters were like
I was like at a museum in Buffalo, those exactly to like cover up, and there was a
Women had on the same thing, and she was fine, but we both look different in the outfit.
But I just don't understand like where you get off. Like I'm a paying customer, and I pay for and so also American Airlines says that they've been trying to reach out to Dr. Rowe. And she hasn't been responding to them, but they have fully refunded her travel. And I just feel like sis needs to just go on and get a lawyer because this discrimination is getting out of hand. I feel like it's always something with these airlines, and there's no way in hell, like the Spirit Airlines, the lady who paid her money to ride on Spirit Airlines, and the white lady didn't want her to sit next to her, and they made her move.
The Russian lady didn't want her to
Yeah, and they made her move instead of removing the lady from the plane. And I think a Caucasian guy, I'm using that term today. I'm not going to say my favorite word, Caucasian. I'm going to say white people. But at any rate, he offered to change seats. But, I mean, why did the black lady need to be inconvenienced?
It's like, why did you accommodate the racists?
Right.
Exactly. That's basically what they did. So that's what they should ask her.
And they told her, thank you for being a team player. Bitch.
Going back to
I'm not calling this shit up.
I'm not calling this shit up.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to get me an ass that's going to get me kicked off the plane. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to put me on the ride for where they're going to kick me off the plane with my ass. So, that's what I need. I need to kick off the plane. But yeah, so sis, just go on and get you a lawyer. Don't even worry about it. She seems to have handled this like with a lot of players. I know I wouldn't have been able to because I probably been up in there clapping and everything else. And the situation would have went awry very quickly. So we just gonna thank White Jesus for his abounding grace that she was able to keep her cool in the situation and conduct herself professionally in front of her son. And we're gonna make sure that we keep checking up with the story and see if sis get her coin.
Exactly. So Miko is gonna get our commercial ready, and while she does that, the commercial is of our First Lady, Michelle Obama, talking about relationships and the importance of the mate you choose. And it kind of ties in with our next guest, Brantley Fine Foods. Sorry. So let's take a look at what Miss Michelle has to say as she is speaking at the Essence Fest. I'm mad I didn't get to go.
No, it's so expensive. I couldn't do it.
I just wanted to eat.
Is a choice. You know, it's a choice that how far not to go. And you have to, this is what I say, and a lot of people say this, marriage is a choice. You know, it's a choice that you make every day because you don't do it because it's easy. You do it because you believe in it, you believe in the other person. And ladies, gentlemen, that's why it's so important to marry somebody that you respect. You know, it's important to marry somebody who is your equal, and to marry somebody and to be with somebody who wants you to win as much as you want them to win. I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier today about thinking about marriage like we think about sports and like you picking your team, right? I mean, my husband is my teammate, and if we are gonna win this game together, he has to be strong and he has to be okay with me being strong. I do not want a weak player on my team, nor does he.
Yes.
But sometimes we accept weak in one another because it feels easy, you know, and be cautious of the man or woman who wants just the easy person,
Yeah.
the person who's not going to force them to grow, the person who's not going to expect them to change, who's not going to hold them accountable. Because if you want to be on a winning team, just like you pick somebody, you wouldn't pick somebody off the bench who's just going to show up weak.
Yes.
You want to pick somebody who is going
Preach.
to carry you through. And those are the things that get you over the hard times.
But Michelle, you said something interesting. You said marry someone who's your equal. You know, we're at a stage now where many women out earn men, and I think that's very difficult for some men. And I've gotten to the place where I don't want to be a nurse or a purse. So when you say marry somebody who's
I like that,
equal,
Gail.
a nurse or a purse.
I like that.
So when you say, and I would like him to have his own teeth too. So when you say you're equal, what do you mean by that? You're equal.
You know, and equality is not just measured in terms of the wallet.
Yes.
I'm not just talking about, you got to be this person or that person. The equality in terms of the values that they carry.
Yes.
You know, it's like honesty, you know. I mean, look, honesty for me is the beginning, the middle, and the end. I just wouldn't want to be bothered with somebody that I couldn't trust on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Because so I'm trustworthy.
Yes.
So I expect my partner to be trustworthy.
You said something to me years ago when you all first went on this journey. You said Barack Obama has never disappointed you in the things that matter.
Absolutely.
I've never, ever forgotten that because I think that's such a good barometer.
And those are the things you fall back on.
Yes,
it's
the
the
things
basic
that
core
matter.
of who the person is. So it's not just about how much money they make or what their title is. We get lost in that kind of stuff. And we sometimes wind up with the wrong people because somebody could have the right title and the right salary and the wrong heart,
Yes.
the wrong soul, the
Yes.
wrong core.
Hey, you guys. As you checked out that clip of Michelle Obama, it kind of brings up the topic that we're about to go on to next, picking the right teammate. We have Jazzy and Antoine together. They're going to discuss working together, being a couple, running a business. So, how long have you guys been doing this?
About 10 months. About 10 months.
Are there, so you guys, are you loving it? It's a labor of love. Are there any challenges?
Oh,
especially being a couple.
There's challenges just, being together all the time. And, we don't be together 24 hours. So, it's a challenge. But when you want to work together, you're going to put everything into it. So it's fine.
So since you guys are together, so you say you're together
All the time since you guys work together. How do you differentiate quality time versus work? Because I might have seen you all day, but if we were busy doing stuff, does that ever pose a conflict? Because I seen you all day, but I really didn't get there wasn't a really us time. We were focused on the business. Is that ever something that comes out?
Yes, we have that on a daily basis.
Yeah. We try to make daytime or just go out, and just not talk about the business because the business is, our main topic all the time.
So you almost have to
be deliberate in making sure that you guys also maintain your
personal relationship outside of the business. Okay.
So when did y'all kind of figure that out?
that was important for you guys as a couple and business partners to separate that time?
When I would talk about business and our relationship more like a business relationship. We was trying to be in tune with each other. So, we just sit down and talk like how can we make each other happy outside of the business. So we just go and just have dates and don't talk about business.
Yeah, kids.
Well, I have kids. Our kids are grown.
Okay. So I was just wondering, sometimes that kind of not interferes, but how that factors into it. But yeah, if that's just better if you don't have little ones running around because that just
I actually do. I have my grandkids.
You do?
So.
Oh, you got grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. How old are they?
5 and 2.
Oh my goodness, I got a 2-year-old. I get it. But that's awesome. So what made y'all want to start this business? Was it you was cooking? It was like, oh.
Yeah, I was about to say, one day you
Actually, I've been cooking all my life. So I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 25 years. So I just left my nursing job full time and started doing this.
So do you do events or?
Yeah, we do events, we do catering. We sell food every day. Turkey legs are kind of the hot thing right now. Everybody's wanting the turkey legs. So one day someone just called up and said, "Can you make that turkey leg?" And I was like, "I guess." I don't even know what they taste like. I've never tried it.
You haven't?
Wow. Because I'm allergic to seafood. So.
I ate 2 of them though.
Yeah, I'm allergic to seafood.
She needs to soy food, so I have to eat it. So it's just like,
He's like, I like poor him. He's like,
when I first met her, I told her that we could make $1 million with your food. It's super good. And she was like, you just talking. So
How'd y'all meet?
at my friend's party, I came home. So we met there, and then I ate her food one time, and then we worked, and then I was like,
And she went to I.
we worked, and then I was like, man, it's no point of us going to work there. I said, I promise you, I will put 130% in with your job. So it was booming. She was like, I'm overwhelmed. I ain't thinking you many people.
That's a good problem to have.
For the 10 months that we've been doing it, it takes people 3 or 4 years to get some of the stuff that we're getting on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, you guys do have a big following.
So we did a cater for Mercedes-Benz, weddings, all type of things. So it's a blessing. So if I gotta fight for my relationship just because we're trying to get business, it's fine with me because I know at the end the results, you're gonna be good. Everything gonna work out. So you put in what you get out. That's all I gotta say.
So tell us what you brought for us today. We have
that is the signature dirty leg.
The producer.
the producer talking about hand the plate over. Can y'all see that?
It's placed for everybody.
Can y'all see that?
And this is the CMT.
So tell us what's on the dirty leg.
The dirty leg is the turkey leg
Stuff with dirty rice and shrimp and a secret sauce. Okay. Well, one of my customers, Miss Chelsea Bynum, she named the sauce the Mardi Gras sauce.
The Mardi Gras sauce.
It's the Mardi Gras sauce.
Okay.
She named it that. So.
I tell you what, it is some seasoning on here.
Oh, yes.
And what you have here
This one is the crawfish mac and cheese.
Okay, can y'all see that one? Turn it all the way around. There you go.
Don't worry, we'll take a picture before we eat it.
Yes, that's the crawfish mac and cheese. And so all of this is like draped over turkey legs.
Yes.
And so turkey legs are like the thing now. So.
And it look like the meat
Falling off the bone. Oh, yeah.
It's just bone sticking out, like there's no meat on it. So y'all
Somebody taste it.
Y'all gonna taste it? Y'all know I'm eating seafood. I can't do it. But
you want to show? You can't eat seafood?
no,
She can't eat seafood.
No, but I'm gonna let y'all.
I'm not. I don't make it taste it.
Here, let me give Miko some. I'm putting.
Y'all want to taste it?
There's
Y'all want to taste it?
Already ate.
Okay. Y'all like to taste it?
I'm gonna give Miko some of this here.
I eat food so
I know
much. I'm
Chris
good.
wants
Look how crunchy it is.
Turkey leg. I'm gonna make her.
You want some turkey legs?
that what?
You got your picture?
That turkey leg is tender.
Oh yeah, it's beef in it. Brown chuck.
That's a
Y'all
lot.
don't eat beef.
That's a lot.
But trying to,
This is the taste test. This is 30-something podcast.
Yes,
Oh,
we are
she's
tasting
serious.
the Bentley
Oh, I didn't see it.
Brantley.
Yes.
We should just.
Oh, Jason wants some of that.
I can get some.
You want some of this one?
Jazz.
I have it. We want it for you guys.
I'm really excited about the crawfish.
Yes, we gave it for y'all to test.
Like
so
a small
whoever wants to get
child.
some,
Yes.
fine.
Everybody try it.
Yeah,
It's
everybody
funny
try
for
it.
Everybody gets some.
Eat Kamiko. Oh my god.
Our producer says that it is good.
Baby, she quiet.
So
when
while they're
Carlos goes
tasting the food, I'm gonna continue asking you guys questions.
Because I know our viewers
Want to know a little bit more about you, and then you know what? I'm gonna kind of ask a question on the basis of our theme for our later segment. Why are you single now? You guys are not single. So as a married couple, what did you find as in one another that made you see being married as what would make you into the man and the woman that you are, especially with growing your business?
Well, I'm older than him. I'm like 47, so it's about time for me to settle down.
It's about time.
So yes, it's time for me to settle down. But Antoine is a good man, and a lot of people are still single because me as a woman, we've been independent for so long.
Right.
You think like you don't need a man for anything, and that gets instilled in your
How long were you
mind.
single before you got married?
A few years.
Okay.
So you get that instilled in your head, like you don't need a man for anything. I'm independent. I can pay my own bills. I can do this. I don't need a man for nothing. And you get stuck with that for so long, and then when you do meet someone, sometimes you're afraid because they try to take your independence from you.
Right.
And a lot of women feel that way, like they're trying to take my independence, like, because sometimes he very protective, and I be like, I can do this. I don't need your help. I can do this. I'm good. Like, I'm gonna go to the store at nighttime. I'll go to the store. I can drive to the store.
Right.
You know, and sometimes you gotta learn to be submissive. You gotta learn to listen. And I'm an alpha female, so
Right.
and he's alpha.
I don't know. It's like when you said submissive, like red lights just went off.
Yeah,
I'm like, why?
This damn word. But you know, but I get it. Yeah, you know. So sometimes I have to learn to just sit back.
Just be like,
Okay. Yeah.
okay, you know, gotta let him be the man. So
It's all about compromising.
It is about that.
And that's what I learned as I'm younger than her, about patience, compromising. And with those two, you can pretty much, keep a relationship.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the compromise aspect. And I think that that's something that
Is learned more during the course of the relationship because it's an ongoing process. Like you're ever evolving, you're evolving separately, you're evolving together, and you have to always keep in mind that you're changing, and this person that you're with is changing, and their taste is changing, and their belief system is changing, and their values are changing, and so you just always have to be willing to be like, okay, so it's not that you're dealing with a different person, but you're definitely dealing with them at a different stage in life, and you always have to be willing to take them at that stage. Go ahead.
Another thing that you have to have a relationship with God, because I'm Muslim, she's not Muslim, but I read my Quran and I pray for both of us, so that puts the morality of the relationship and trying to be in a good space. Because a lot of men our days don't care about God, so if you ain't putting God in a relationship, the relationship can be doomed or it can be, whatever y'all living for. So that's why we pray together and I try to make sure she ain't Muslim, she's Christian, but I still pray with her and let her know she fast with me. So we do things to make sure. Yeah, so it's we have our ups and downs and it's rocky, but sometimes, but I'm saying, but if you fight and you want it, you're gonna get what you gotta get.
Yeah.
And for me to be younger than her, I learned a lot of patience.
What's the age difference?
9 years.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's not to me anyway.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I can talk to a 60-year-old. I'm just saying, like, it depends on what type of man you are.
I mean, yeah, it all depends on what you want. Yeah. Like, out of the relationship,
I'm not really looking at the age.
Focus on that.
No, I'm not focused on the age. I'm just focused on the morality of the situation.
Yeah.
Our principles are the same, morals are the same, and as time goes by, then we'll get,
I think the relationship would be different if she was 9 years younger than you.
I think so. It probably would work.
I don't know if it wouldn't work, but it would definitely be different.
I don't really want to date
Some guys don't like dating young women. Some guys only date young
because
women.
I want somebody to make me feel accountable.
Based off experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm like in my grade, but if somebody 9 years older than me, they're not gonna make me feel accountable as a woman that's close to my age or older than me. I mean, that's why men are scared of being in a relationship because they don't want to be accountable for the things they say they can't do. See, I'm cool with being vulnerable. If I don't understand how to do this, well, I'll learn how to do it because that's give and take a relationship. So that's what makes you a better man. By, saying be accountable for the things that you can and can't do.
Right.
So do you guys have a brick and mortar location or are you just catering right now?
Catering, pretty much mobile.
Okay, can you tell the people how they can reach out to you guys? Because I know they're going to want to order some food this week and we want you guys.
Yeah, I'm the delivery guy, so you can call me at 469-865-4436. And if you have menu questions about like meal preps or anything, you can call my wife at 940-435-4000.
Right. And so I also on your
Please say that one more time.
Okay. Okay. 469-865-4436. I'm the delivery person. If you have questions about menus or meal preps, you can call Jazzy at 940-435-4000.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to point out like the meal prep because I saw that they were doing meal prep, so it's not all about like, oh, let me get like this soul food, like that isn't healthy. They do have the meal prep, and it was like salmon and asparagus.
Yeah.
With the vegan. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I feel like that's something that you guys should also push. I mean, because like the meal prep thing is serious. It's, everybody's trying to be healthy now, but it's hard to be healthy and not have food readily available. Yeah. Because once you get hungry, all bets is off. It's like, I just want to eat. I don't care what it is. And having that meal prep option is really awesome.
We have reasonable prices, so it's not like we're trying to bust somebody over the head and giving people on the regular meal prep is 5 for 40 and 7 for 60, and on the vegan is 5 for 50 and 7 for 70 because we don't want to make people pay too much. And then you get a lot of food, so you come back. And sometimes people have leftover, but we're just trying to make everybody comfortable with eating good food and bad food at the same time. So that's it.
So what's your social media? I have a question because I've just watched you all on the live, and it seems like you're the promotion person and you're the cook. Is it important to establish roles in a couple? He can do all of it. And she cool with it, but that's why it works. That's why it works because the roles have been.
Her personality is great now. She can promote too. So she got her own friends. She got people she promotes. I'm just more talkative than her. So
I think they're complimentary.
I know, but I was just watching it. And she's just like, I'm cool. You can talk. And
she talk just.
I know because I saw you promote on the internet when we were doing the show. I see that you have friends and that you have relationships that you've already built. But when you all get in public, because I even watched the live when you all were on, was it Channel 8?
Yeah.
Channel 4? Okay. And I even saw. But you were in the back and you was like, we here, baby. But I love that. I appreciate that. I like that about you all's relationship.
Thank you.
I thank you all for coming. And the food, I'm going to give my opinion.
And Antoine told me off camera they're going to bring me some pizza. I just lied on him, but I'm going to get this pizza out of them. I love pizza. I just said yes, please.
We thank you all for coming.
And that's Brantley Fine Foods.
And give your social media. I know that you're on Instagram and also on Facebook.
Brantley Fine Foods on Facebook. I'm Jazzy Jones on Facebook. Antoine Brantley. Jazzy J400 on Instagram, Snapchat.
And then it's also Bentley Fine Foods on
Instagram as well. Yes.
No, it's Bentley Fine Foods and Cater. That's exactly right.
I think we have you tagged on our page.
Yeah,
so if you go to our page, you can see them tagged in the caption. They're tagged on there, so you guys can find them and you can actually see photos of all the food. So it don't look like this just for the day. It always looks like this. And make sure you support because we love supporting Black business on the show. This is something that we do intentionally. Is that we broadcast Black business and we try to push as much business because we feel like if y'all benefit, then we benefit as well. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you guys for having us.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yes,
all right.
yes.
So we'll be back after this break, y'all.
I still gotta try that.
Oh, this one?
Oh, yeah, you good? That's for y'all.
Views of the water, straight from a page of your favorite author. And the weather's so breezy. Man, why can't life always be this easy? She in the mirror dancing so sleazy. I get a call like, where are you, Yeezy? And try to hit you with the old whoppy. Till I got flashed by the paparazzi. Man, these niggas got me. I hate these niggas more than a Nazi. All I know you love to show off. But I never thought that you would take it this far. What do I know? I don't follow rules and they don't like that. I was skipping school to get my sack right. My bitch text me and asked why I don't text back. My dog got out of prison and went right back. These brand new, don't step on my business. I'ma hit that if she let me. They don't like how I talk that. Flooded out my wrist, a puddle dripping. 42, I'm steady sipping. Yeah, I'm on and I'm off that. These niggas more than enough. I know you love to show off, but I never thought that you would take it this far. What do I know?
We are back, you guys, and we are about to have our conversation about why these people are still single.
You people.
So, just about like the 30-something crowd and, the single crowd and why. Because I feel like the question is posed a lot, and I don't even know what I would do if it was, me in the situation, having to answer questions all the time about why you're single. It's like, oh, you're pretty. Why are you single? It's, oh, you're so cool. Like, why are you single? So I can just imagine what y'all are going through. But we have Monroe here with us, and Jay Hubbard. Jay Hub, right? Jason Hubbard with us. And Lisa has some questions prepared for the discussion. And
air quote, prepared.
And just going to jump into the conversation about, what it's like to be 30-something and still be single. Like the different dynamics as it pertains to like maybe children, not having children, expectations, attraction, what you're looking for, things of that sort.
All right, so before I get into things, I'm going to do a quick volume check. Let me know if y'all can hear on our side because they said they couldn't hear this side of the set. They can hear yours, so comment if you can hear. Are we still live, Kamiko? Are we still live?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. Well, they're not coming, so I don't know if they can hear or not. At any rate, so let me introduce our guest. Even though Drea did, I just wanted to let you guys know Monroe, who is sitting beside Drea, the videos you saw are of his customized shoes. I was lucky to win a pair of Air Max 270s from him because I was obedient and I shared some videos and stuff like that. So thank you so much. I wore them today. I would show them to you, but it's not appropriate for me to kick my leg up, and I'm a lady like Shanae. At any rate, they said, okay, which side can't you hear, Kane? She said, not the other side. But she said, we hear you, which is me. Okay, so at any rate. And then Marie, she brought her good friend Jason to add to the conversation. Oh, Drea sounds muffled now. So it's cool. Listen closely, tune your ear in like your teacher tell you to do in school so that y'all can hear us a little bit better. So at any rate, we're going to talk about why are you single? Because last week, off camera, one of our guests, he asked me the question, why are you single? And I said, because I want to be. And I thought that was a solid answer because it's the truth. But he felt that it wasn't, and he told me why I was single, and we had never met before.
Was it John?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say his name because he's not here to defend himself, and I don't want to slander his name at all because we did appreciate him being a guest, no doubt. So, for one, I don't understand why there's a stigma with being single, and then I don't understand why if someone gives their answer, why that's not acceptable.
Right.
The truth is, it is because I want to be. Now, is there some additional layers to that because I want to be? Of course. But I didn't know him well enough to give him those layers. And I didn't feel like it was important to give him those layers because he wasn't on my radar to need to know those layers.
Right. So what are the layers?
The layers. I don't even think it ain't None of your friends' business. No,
No, she didn't.
So let
But
me
that's
go
what we
genuine.
talking about.
Okay, so the
I'm not
layers are,
answering any of this.
for one, and I know this is very cliche, but I am very focused on being where I want to be, you know, career-wise as it pertains to entrepreneurship. Because, you know, you guys know my story. I've been a mom for a long-ass time. Mm-hmm. Hey, kids, love you guys. However, I've focused a lot on getting them where I want them to be. And so now that I have a kid going off to college, I'm like, look, I got, you know, 3 more years with my daughter before, you know, she goes off. So I can use that time to really pour into, you know, where I want to be, you know, as a writer and stuff like that. So do I want to be explaining to a dude, you know, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and, you know, I think so for me it's like, okay, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be career-wise as far as where I'm content with what I'm doing. To say, okay, well, now I want to try to add this to somebody, because they may not understand that freelancing,
But
you know.
They do understand it.
Well, I don't need them to, you know, because it's personal for me. Okay. And so I would have to trust you. Why you got a frown when I'm talking?
not frowning.
See, that's why I'm talking. I need to be comfortable.
I got my judgy face.
I got my judgy.
I'm in a relationship.
No,
so, Kamiko.
Well, I just think, no.
Bless is on our lives. And Mikey needs his medicine.
So I'm going to say this, because I'm going to explain the judgy face. Because I'm always telling her that she's, like, super awesome, right? And so I feel like a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit, right? And so, and I feel like you're a dope writer. Like, she just, one day we were sitting here, she was like, oh, I'm in this magazine, I wrote this article. I was like, bitch, wait a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? She just said, she did it so passively. And, like, I feel like that was something that needed to be celebrated. But she was like, oh, you know, somebody asked me to write something and I just wrote it. And I'm like, that's dope. Like, you need to be okay with sharing it. Like, if you're okay with sharing your gift with the world in that aspect, then that's definitely something.
I haven't gotten there completely.
Like she said, you would want to trust somebody, because even too saying you're an artist or any type of in that realm, it almost falls under in that realm of I'm an artist. Like, I gotta, you're not as bad as saying I got a mixtape coming out, but it's like people typically have a lot of questions, and I feel like that's also something.
Maybe, but I mean, I feel like in our community, we really don't even read like that in the first place. For somebody to say they're a writer, like. And it's like the content of what, you know, she's putting down, especially the article that I read. I thought it was like,
that was a good Slim Thug article.
Yeah, it was a Slim Thug article, and so it's like when I was reading the article, I'm not reading it for grammatical errors or anything like that. I'm reading it for actual content, and it had really good content. And so I'm like, be unabashedly aware of your fucking fresh, bitch. Like, you are dope and you know how to write. Like, walk in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, be confident about who you are and just, like, let your swag. You know what I'm saying? And you're good at what you do. And it's not that you're halfway good, because if she wasn't good, then we'd be like, well, then you know you might want it. But people are asking her to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming to her for her gift and for her talent. And if you don't see it,
I see it, but
brag on it.
I'm not that person, though. You know that. I mean,
well, I'm gonna do it for you.
Okay, thank you. It's in
Geek Plus
magazine, so y'all can look that up. So let's move off of me, because I'm getting hot.
She don't like
getting
talking
hot
about
in here,
herself.
and I'm not Nelly. I'm not in a Nelly video right now. So let's get our guests in the mix.
Yeah.
Miko, they said they're kind of still having some volume issues and can't hear good.
They said it's in the middle. The second camera.
Oh, well, they said
echo.
Yeah, well, just turn your phone up. They said when you change
the camera.
It's when you change the camera. So I'm gonna start with Monroe. Just introduce yourself. Let us know about you. How long you've been single. It's not a dating game, but we just want to know for substance who you are and, you know, what has caused you to decide right now is a good time to stay single.
Well, yeah, I've been single for about a year, and I'm just at a space. At one point, I was looking for a relationship, but I'm just at a space of not finding equally yoked people to give my time to. So I'm just focusing on my business and my kids, and pretty much that's it.
How old are you?
34.
And what about you, Jason?
I'm 36. Been single for 3 years now. So, again, it's kind of the same thing, like just kind of focusing on myself. Got out of a long-term relationship and just not finding that one that I want to, like, get that time and commitment to, like, my all to at that point. You know what I mean? But at some point, I'll look for a relationship whenever it comes. But it's not like my focus, my
That's
priority.
an oxymoron, you know that?
Yeah,
Look for a relationship whenever it comes.
Whenever it comes, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'll know once it's time for like me to settle down with that one, you know.
So
but
how
right
long
now,
were you in your relationship before?
3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
7 years.
Oh.
So are you gonna do like Jamie Foxx and Dreamgirls? When I first saw you, that's how you gonna know.
Was anybody close to getting married or want to get married?
Yeah.
That's a
I
long
was
time to
close.
be with somebody.
7 years and you don't want to get married? I'm just asking. No?
I knew at a certain point in a relationship that it wasn't for me.
Okay.
I just didn't know the exit.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that happens a lot. And I rarely hear men say that. I hear women say that more often than
We be planning for about 4 months. I've been ready to leave. Just really just
Right.
one thing.
I
I
just
just out of here because I really want to go.
Yeah, one more night.
Be planning your new life. Feel like just got as soon as you leave.
And I just want to add that Maria's single too, because y'all ain't finna have me out here looking bad. Drea and Miko.
Me?
Y'all got married.
I don't feel like it's a bad thing, and I think we give it
I don't
so
either.
much
I'm
negative
joking.
connotation.
You know I'm joking about
Right.
it. I like being.
I mean, I've been in a relationship for a really long time, and there's some days where it's like, damn, sometimes I just don't want to wash your damn clothes. Sometimes, I mean, it's just real, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's benefits and there's a downside and an upside to being in a relationship and being single. Like, I see my single friends say I live in their best life, and I'm like,
living my best life.
It's like,
I ain't going back.
and then I hear them complain about, you know, stuff that it's like, oh, I wish I had somebody to come home to. So yeah,
I do have somebodies to come home to.
They all
Kayla,
in your
Jada,
bed.
Darian, and they texting me now, harassing me. So I mean,
so Marie, what's it been like for you? Has it been difficult?
I'm inconsistent. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'd love to meet someone. I'm all open, but I do compartmentalize. So I feel like I'm more comfortable with someone I feel like I'm familiar with. But then at the end of the day, I feel like because I'm also super guarded, it's like I don't like a lot of pressure. And typically, if someone's not pressuring you, they typically don't want that much more either. Like, they cool with status quo as well. So consequently, you end up you're not actually getting what you want, but you're probably not exactly being yourself all the way, because you're kind of like, hey, I actually want more, but you'll never see me ask or do anything to kind of push for that. But I also don't want that pressure. Like, I want it to be natural. Like, I want to be around you. Because sometimes, too, I feel like spending a lot of time with somebody. Like, I remember I was in a relationship kind of like, I just spent, like, I don't want to spend, I was in a relationship for 7 years, and it was kind of like near the end, I was like, I don't want to spend every day with you, and I want to get married, but not to you. So I'm going to exit here. But at one time, too, that was somebody I wanted to marry. I wanted, like, there's just kind of, forever with you?
The space that you were in?
Forever with you? Yeah. But too, initially he was the one that was kind of on BS, and I was like all in. And then really I feel like he became all in when I was no longer all in. Like I was kind of like done for. So again, I was kind of just waiting to leave. Like, well, I mean, you haven't done anything ridiculous for me just to walk out, but I definitely don't want to do the marriage thing.
The emotional checkout.
Because some people, they want to get married for the marriage, not really for the husband. So, I don't want to be that person.
I'm confused. What does that mean?
Well, some people just want the ring. I know women like people. First of all, there's plenty of married
But
people
you can
that
buy
ain't
your
happy.
own ring.
Yeah, but it's different when someone else buys it for you. But a lot of people want the marriage. Like to some degree, we are conditioned for the wedding. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. We go down the aisle. People, women, girls, not all, but they do have like that vision of what it would be like. And so some people too. I've had
a vision of love, Mariah Carey.
But even so, I've had women ask like, well, I remember when I was married, I was like, well, how did you get him to do it? And like it was kind of like, well, I didn't trick him. And it's something we came along. Yeah, so it's almost like it's not. But it's like they want it so bad, but they don't actually want and I think people want relationships, but don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And that's the same thing with the marriage. There's responsibility that comes with it. It's not about convenience. It is a lot of work. And then sometimes we get so comfortable just doing our own thing. It's like we don't want to have to be accountable to someone. And then we don't want that let down conversation either. Where you're like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to quit calling you. That way I ain't got to apologize to you. I'm going to start over with somebody else. Like, I'm cool.
Okay. So we're gonna do a quick commercial break so we can fix the volume echo issues. Miko's just gonna rerun a quick clip of the Michelle Obama where she's talking about finding your appropriate mate, because we want to make sure we fix the technical difficulties for you guys that are tuned in, so that the volume is appeasing to you all. So hang in there so we can fix it really quick. We're live. I was just taking a sip of Jesus juice. Pardon me. So, we're back. Hopefully, y'all can hear us now. Let's get back into our talk. Why are you single? Again, we have Jason, Monroe, myself, and Marie in the building. I'm representing for 30-something podcast. Go ahead and share the video so that we can get our viewers back up. So, I had a question for the gentleman in the room because we want the man's perspective. So, as far as deal breakers are concerned, are your deal breakers different in your 30s than they were in your 20s as far as an acceptable mate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you grow. You grow with age, you grow with experience and maturity and stuff like that. So some of the things that I would accept when I was, 22, 23, 24, I don't play around with in 30, because at this point, you're trying to find that mate long term. In the 20s, you're just kind of hanging out, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that one night or that one moment or whatever that you're spending. And, you accept certain things that you wouldn't live with the rest of your life, so.
Okay, and I know, Mara, you said absolutely. What's that absolutely entail?
I mean, it's just certain things that I see a lot of younger women, or even some women do, closer to my age range, that I just don't feel like I can accept that. I shouldn't have to when I know it's more to life from my point of view, looking at a woman. So I just keep it moving. I keep it simple, pretty much. I am a man at the end of the day, so I have my needs. But if I deal with somebody, I let them know that it's not going to be anything long term.
Oh, shit. You keep it.
I'm very straightforward.
Keep it 100 though. That's the best.
I'm at the age where I feel like I don't have to lie to nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Honesty is the best policy, man.
Do you say that up front, when you first?
No, I don't want to be rude to nobody.
What is the perfect time to say that?
If we having an open conversation, I don't mind expressing my opinions, and I don't say it in a rude manner. I say it, to let somebody know my outlook about it, because at one point I was looking for a relationship, but the dating field is not up to par as far as what I'm looking for right now. So I'm just gonna focus on what I got going on.
So the ladies, they want to know some examples of what you guys find are deal breakers nowadays when looking for, or if you consider someone you would want to continue getting to know for a long term.
I don't like a woman who do it for the gram. That's a deal breaker for me automatically.
Yeah.
What is doing it for the gram?
I'm
uncultured.
When you take pictures.
That don't take. I don't need to share who you are and those type of. I know what you're saying. Those type of pictures with the world. That's supposed to be that's us. You know what I mean? I don't want a woman that I can say
Then my partner can look up and she butt naked.
And she naked.
So I shouldn't show my piece of tattoo?
Do what you want to do, but I'm not going to
just not going to be for me.
It's just right here on my wrist.
Oh, cool.
That's what we're trying to define. We're like, what kind of photos?
Are we talking about grown folks photos?
I'm
but
just
some
joking.
people don't, but not everyone does that either. But I feel like some women aren't comfortable with that, so I think it varies though too, because I know men that would just have an issue with a woman having a social media presence.
I mean, social media is acceptable today. That's how we, communicate today. But at the same time, the same thing he's saying is I don't need my partner hitting me up and oh yeah, I know her, and I've seen such and such. You seen the tattoo on her inner thigh? I saw. Nah, that's for me. You know what I mean? That's my woman. That should be for me.
I feel like women who do that do it for attention.
Exactly.
And I don't want no attention seeker.
Exactly.
Okay, y'all heard that, ladies. No attention seeking. No doing it for the gram or the fam. Gram fam. Speaking of which, my son is going to Grambling. Congratulations, young man. I'm proud of you. Okay, moving right along. I mean, it was just a good. I know I'm corny. So, what was my next question? Because I lost my train of thought being goofy. So, we talked about deal breakers. Do you guys think, as it pertains to dating nowadays, because me as a woman, I feel like men are not courting women anymore. I want to know who you guys think is to blame. Is it like y'all said, the ones doing it for the gram or the Instagram thoughts, or is the man to blame for the way that dating and courtship goes nowadays. Because nowadays it's a lot of just text, or they want to do some Netflix and chill so they can get a feel. That's not what's up to me. So who do y'all think is to blame? Is it the women, how they present themselves?
I blame the women.
I do too.
A lot of women just want to go on dates so they can get free food.
Free food?
Free food.
I mean,
it's a different,
how
it's
old
a
are the
different
women y'all
world.
dating?
Free put.
I'm like, how old?
Gotta get real with them.
Like, how
Get
old?
real.
Like,
I'm
gonna
right?
give you
Look,
my
they do
opinion.
want free
Yeah.
pussy, but
I think it's just a different culture, man. Like, these women nowadays, for one, women nowadays are more aggressive than they were back in the day. It's not for me to to come after you or something like that. Most women nowadays shoot their shot. You know what I mean? So
I don't think that women
But
should
even
shoot
shoot-
their shot, and my friends
Why
tell me
not?
that because the man is supposed to court the woman.
Who says that?
yeah, but
Me.
see,
But
no,
see,
no,
but I
no,
feel
no,
like
okay.
it's a, but
They
it's
don't-
almost as if that's a double
But y'all
standard.
just said
First
they
you just
too
said that's a
aggressive when they
problem, but
shoot
now
their
it's
shot.
like,
I never
but I
said
mean, you
that.
should
No,
do
I'm not
it.
saying
Like what
it's
they
too
said.
aggressive. I'm just saying like they switch. They try to switch the role. You know what I mean? So now I don't necessarily have to pursue you. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 or 3. If you won't do it, somebody else will.
Yeah,
Like somebody will shoot their shot, and
Everybody
I can
has
just do it.
options.
Exactly.
So I'm still really confused because then it's like, well, I mean, I want to pursue, but I mean, I don't really have to.
Because
if
I
you
got 2 or 3 in my
trying to
back
pursue me,
pocket
so
trying
if
to
you
rock
don't
it.
pursue me,
Hey.
Then
I like
like so
that.
if you don't pursue me, then too, someone else could easily be in your position. Like it's
Right.
It's
From my point of view, I don't want to over pursue somebody who has something else going on, is not trying to pursue me as much as I want them. It don't work like that.
So
for
a
me.
mutual interest. So the thing that I'm saying as a woman is, I would like for a man to approach me and say, "Hey, how you?" I'm lying, because somebody gonna think that they can do that, and then I'm gonna ignore them. So,
Some women don't like
but
that.
Yeah.
but I would prefer if it's someone that I find attractive, and there's
But how do
made
you
some
how do you
eyes.
show that man that you find him attractive, or you're interested in wanting him to come do that?
I can't tell you that because I'm very corny when it comes to this part of life. So there are gonna be a lot of mixed signals from me, and it's not intentional. I don't have it together when it comes to
But you have to give him some
courting
kind of.
and how you bet your eye got y'all see my eyelashes look like snuffleupagus, they go down.
Like that's pretty much I like it.
I don't know. It's not gonna work for me
Like I like it.
because I'm just not good at flirting, and I'm actually enrolled in a flirting class right now as we speak.
I feel like deliberately flirting is when it gets awkward. There's that act like, but if that's my intent, like, no.
I am enrolled in a
Like,
flirting
well,
class.
Who's teaching?
Don't worry
That
about
was
it.
my question. Who teaches?
Like, who teaches that class?
So, wait, we have a comment. Floyd said the culture of dating has changed. I don't know how he knows because he's married to my girl, Anastasia, but I'm going to just read his comment because that's my boy. But he said, but it's still good dudes that got, now Floyd, don't act like Lincoln folks are dumb. You got to word this stuff right, bro. If I'm going to be reading it. We done went to the same high school and I'm struggling. At any rate, he says, good dudes that approach to show a woman a good time. Women may be looking at the wrong crowd of dudes for that. So again, another man is blaming what the women are doing. I feel like at the end of the day, the man sets the tone. And if men are saying that they want a certain standard of women, then they need to set that tone by, pushing those type of women that don't meet that standard to the side and showing respect and appreciation to women who exude the qualities that you guys say you're looking for. So I personally feel like the responsibility does fall on you guys, the men, because you get so used to dealing with a certain caliber of women that are, trashy or whatever you want to call them, or, thoughts. I know that term, it means that over there. That when you come across a woman who has certain standards or piques your interest, you kind of give her the same type of interest that you would give someone that isn't a quality because you've gotten so used to that. So how do you guys say, okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to look at this particular woman. What does she have to exude for you to realize that she's not looking for a meal? Because, I mean, women, especially in the black community, we're the higher wage earners. So I don't think that we really need y'all to pay for no food.
That's what it is right there.
No, we don't need y'all to pay for no food.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I know that I don't because
but I can respond to that.
My daddy's still alive, and I call him first before I call y'all for a meal.
But that's it, though. The woman that you're looking at, like, you approach her, you trying to pursue her, you show your interest, and then the woman has that attitude, like, I don't need you. Like, I'm good by myself. You know what I mean? And dude trying to show a genuine interest, like, yo, can I take you out to eat? Can we have a drink? Can I buy you a drink? No, I'm good. Like, y'all standoffish because it's to the point, like, y'all independent. And you're, like, almost too independent women. You know what I mean?
The man wants to feel like a man.
The man still need to feel like a man.
But then I feel like that piggybacks on the fact that then you have a man that thinks you're just there for what. So it's almost like I just want to present that I can hold my own. And so because just like you said, well, there's women that just go out for the food. I'll be honest, my time is too precious. I don't want to sit around anyone I don't want to be around. Exactly. You can't enough food in the world you can buy me. Even back, we go back to that Michelle Obama.
I mean, but if you
somebody
come
can
with
have
some
money
pizza,
or whatever, but have a bad heart or not have good intentions or not be a kind person, I'm straight on your free food. Thank you very much.
But you can balance
that
out.
But food is part of, like, but I will say it fall up there with something I care about, though. There's a little weight in my heart now. Like, food.
But you can balance it out. Like, if I'm going to take you out as a man, I'm going to pay for it. I got you, you know what I'm saying, the first couple of times or whatever. You can balance it out to show that man that that's not what you're about by, like, offering to pay for the bill. Not that I'm going to let you pay for it. I might. I don't know. But if you, like, just present yourself like, yo, I got it this time. You know what I mean? Like, that lets that man know that you're just not about just the money. You're just not about the materialistic things. Like, you bringing something to the relationship, too. Like, you're showing the same interest.
I don't know if they hear me, but I know one of the main things that locked my husband in was when we were just dating. Because you thought of me when you were out shopping, I'm going to think of you every time I'm out and I'm doing something. And ever since then, I ain't had to buy shit else.
Yeah.
But I also think that speaks to the man, because I think women do that these days. I've seen women pay for dates, pay for meals. I've had people invite me on a date, and I, like, low key, you could definitely tell they expected, like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay you. Like, and I don't mind. Like, if I care about somebody, I don't mind doing something. My friends, I'll do stuff for them. I will stay on the dating side unless I have to trust you or think you have good intentions for me to actually. I don't mind. Like, if my platonic male friends, hey, just like if I was with my girlfriends, I treat them the same. But as far as on the dating side, me also feeling like I have been in situations where I felt like somebody tried to take advantage of me. So for me, it's like, unless I legitimately trust you or care about you, I'm not kids. I'm not breaking my bread. I'm not taking out of my household to take care of you. But even too, like, when I met my ex-husband, he had nothing. He was broke, but we was in our 20s. Okay, we was in our 20s, right? Exactly. So, but I didn't mind because I was familiar with him. Going back to too, that's like a thing for me. I have to feel like there's some type of friendship there. Right. It can't just be, oh, you just want to knock me down, and no. I legitimately have to look at you as a friend.
What do you have to say, Mama?
Yeah.
What makes you think I have to say something?
Because you here.
I mean, all right, so what you said, it set off a spark in your husband that's now your husband. It shows that you appreciating him. You know, you liked him or loved him or whatever it might have been back then, just as much as he was interested in you. And some women don't do that to show the interest. It's just a man that's putting out all the effort, there's nothing really giving back.
Well, I was a good girlfriend.
As a dude, if you can show me you thinking of me first, like I'm thinking of you first, then that's exactly what happened with your husband. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to do that, but you put him first. You thought of him first, outside of y'all being together. You know what I mean? That's big. You know what I mean? So
I know it worked for me. 15 years.
But too, I'm going back to, I'm sure your husband definitely gave you indicators that he was into that made you want to do that, because too, a lot of things are acts of inspiration, right? So we treat people based off of what they inspire out of us. Okay, I actually really care. I want to do something nice for you. He provoked that.
I'm sure he was taking care of business first to make you feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm reciprocate what.
And didn't necessarily mean he had to buy you a gift, but he treated you so well. You're like, you know what? Exactly. Or even too, I'll say this. I'm a sucker for when I see people don't want a lot. Like, humble men, that's kind of like intelligent humble men. Like, you don't even ask for nothing. Like, that's the person, like, well, no, like, you want to do more for, you want to be more for. But then going back to, too, sometimes it's all about, we can do all those things, but a certain person isn't ready to receive that. That doesn't, it won't match. So, too, that's something we got to keep in mind. And I think that goes back to how I was talking about just being consistent. Because, too, after you experience, like, being let down or disappointed, I think you change up. You don't do certain things. Because no difference, like, well, because this happened to me before. So you kind of, you hold back a little bit, too. Out of fear.
Okay, so Stanton, he says that both people should just pay for their meals. So you'll both know that you're interested. And I think that's all good and fine. You can do that. But, I mean, then that kind of takes away from the spirit of courting, in my opinion. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that people should get out of the cheesy traditional dates as well. I think there's different ways to date. The first date does not have to always be dinner and a movies. And I think that that's why so many men feel like the women just want a meal. And so I think, again, that falls back on the man planning and saying, hey, I'd like to take you here. You could take somebody to a museum, to the, where's it with the pretty flowers?
Arboretum.
But
I mean, somewhere just put some effort.
Put some thought and effort into it. And I think that picking that first date is after you kind of have had a couple of phone conversations and you kind of know the person's likes and interests. And that'll take away from that thought process of someone looking for a material come up of a $20 meal or whatever the meal costs. I don't see the benefit to me, but I agree with y'all that there are, women who do that. So my next question, because I mean, we talked about the material aspects of relationships and how that can be a turnoff and cause you guys or, people in general to want to remain single. But what about the aspects that aren't, tangible, that you can't buy, those qualities that are most important? Where are those, I guess, on your list of importance as far as the emotional connection, what that person brings to you spiritually and mentally, and as far as dating goes?
Well, I believe that's something that has to be found over time. You're not going to find that immediately out of a person.
I mean, I think sometimes you can click, though. There's incidents where you could be, I feel like intimacy can also, it's that conversation. You could be so engrossed in each other's conversation that you do have that moment of that click, like, wow, okay.
But that's like puppy love. Eventually it fades away.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I don't believe that. I don't think, because it's not, we're not saying that I'm like, oh, I want to sleep with you, but maybe I feel like we're on the same level mentally. Right. I enjoy your conversation, which then at that point, I would like to see you again. Because even too, like we're talking about a traditional date, a lot of folks not even getting out on dates, they just hanging out. So it's like, how do we get people back on dates? Like, well, actual date, not just like I'm out here with you, not you, me, and my 50 friends or whatever, but I actually just want to spend time with you to get to know you.
And then if you say that comes over time, but then y'all also say, well, women just want to go on dates for food. Like, how are you getting? Not all women. Because I don't want to put words in y'all mouth.
I've had a female friend that I was interested in genuinely in getting to know, to see where it can go, but over time it wasn't there, and it just seemed like she was just in it for the dates to go out and on me.
Did she take pictures and stuff and post it?
We did all of it.
So she wanted to put on the air that she was kicking it with somebody, and she might have probably been trying to make somebody jealous.
I don't think it was that, because we never had like a I'm only talking to you type of thing. Mm-hmm. It was like, we just seeing where it go right now.
Yeah, it ain't got to be all about dates, like going out to eat and stuff. I've invited like a friend of mine that I knew, like she was going to the grocery store, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna roll with you, like go to the grocery store. You know what I mean? And she kind of got taken back by it, but at the same time, it sparked something in her to know, like, yo, I'm interested in you. So like, we'll go grocery shopping together. I gotta go anyway. Like, and we'll just chop it up as we walk around.
Wow, y'all want to lick no ice cream where y'all?
That's actually fun, because you gotta get to know. It's like a nice way to get to know each other. It's like a common invite. It's not pressure. It's just like, cool, we strolling through.
You go in your line, I go in my line, pay for my food, and we straight.
No, that's.
So what if I break out my coupons?
I'm gonna roll with you.
He like, you got an extra one? He like, well, I'm just saying.
So I think one of the things that people, when they're getting into new relationships, that they don't discuss is, what was the complaint that the last person had about you? Because a lot of people don't like to be honest about, what it is that's going on with you that maybe you need to repair, or what it is that you need to fix. And if you're really ready to fix that, to actually get into a relationship, would you all be willing to share what the complaint was, or what the problem was, or what the issue was with the last relationship and why it didn't work out?
Me personally, I felt like I wasn't 100% happy in my last relationship, so I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of cheating, and I never got caught.
Wow.
But if she watching, I'm caught now. But it don't matter.
But my question is, you weren't happy or you weren't happy in a relationship? Because there's definitely like a relationship.
I wasn't happy in the relationship. I was happy as a person.
So why not get out of the relationship?
Because I'm happy as a.
No, before you started
like
cheating.
earlier when she was there, I couldn't find the exit because it was
love
involved.
You did say that. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you gotta let that little petty fight turn into like now we ain't talking before. We was something little. Like I'm really kind of done.
Yeah, for me, it was more so like I'm a big family person, and the person I was with she didn't have a kid. I had a kid, I have a daughter, and I'm all about my kid. You know what I mean? So like, to me, my kid comes first, and then like my woman is there. You're my girlfriend, so and I don't know if you're gonna be around. So maybe I didn't. If I'm honest with myself, maybe I didn't give it my all because I've seen women come and go. You know what I mean? But my daughter gonna be there. So
I don't even think I can date a person that don't have kids.
And that's me now.
Because there's something that they don't
something
understand.
that they don't understand, and it's crazy now because I saw something and she posted something like that. Like now I understand where he was coming from. You know what I mean? Like that love you'll never be able to break. That bond you'll never be able to break. Like she can call me and I'm dropping everything. I don't care if we're on a date, whatever. My daughter called me and say, "Yo, I need you to do something." I'm running to that, and she had it in her heart that like I'll never be first. Like I'll never be first, in your eyesight or whatever. And so it was one of those things that kind of tore us apart at the end. You know what I mean? Like as it started to progress, and I was the one that was pushing for marriage. Like I was the one like, yo, like when I know you my wife, dynamics change. You know what I mean? Like I know you my woman. I know like you ain't finna leave. You're not stepping out, whatever. But if you can't commit to me like that, then I'm not willing to really commit to you like that because it's still my child. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So.
Yeah. So the woman was in competition with your daughter?
But my
that's
question is,
maturity, though.
But even too, as far as dating with kids, I wonder how. Even for me, that's something I struggle with. I was with somebody for a long time. It took me 2+ years to even let them meet my kids. But simultaneously, one thing I do feel like is that whatever relationship, which is why I know probably why I'm single, but whatever relationship I'm in, I typically compartmentalize and I don't bring, but then too, me not bringing my kids into that, they're not getting the full, this is really what I come with. I come with these kids, this is my life, and typically it's like just separate things. So it's like, you're never really involved. And so consequently too, obviously you're not really in my world. You're something, I step out, I see you. So I feel like one of my things was bringing it together, bringing that together so that you could see how it works. So even too, I don't want to be so invested in someone, I want to marry them, but my kids don't even like them. Like that matters. And not to say that I'm going to choose someone that my kids don't like, but it can happen. Like it can really happen.
Kids
so even
don't like nobody.
Trying to figure out, I've seen my kids like, one liked my ex-fiance, the other one didn't. So, it can vary, but I think that I feel like a lot of times too, being single and having kids, we do compartmentalize because we're so afraid we don't want to put our kids in that predicament or let someone get close to them and it doesn't work out. But yet at the same time, that's a part of really letting someone into your world too.
But you got to be honest with that person too. Like I tell everybody, like I have a daughter, that's what it is. Like here's my schedule with her, here's my schedule with you, and like we'll figure it out over time. But like nothing comes between that. You know what I mean? Like that's my time with my child. So I don't believe in like hiding the child. You know what I mean? Like we ain't finna do the whole Drake thing where like don't nobody know about it. You know what I mean? So. But I'm gonna tell you up front, like I have a child. This is the relationship. Here's the relationship I had with her mother. That's kind of one of the things that helped break us apart with my ex because she didn't understand the fact that me and my daughter's mom have a great relationship. We co-parent really well. So and it's nothing there between us. She's engaged and everything, but like we co-parent, and so we're gonna have those interactions. So it's kind of back to what you said about competing. You know what I mean? And then. One day I had to realize, like, I'm not that in love with you, like, that I'm going to put my child to the side and say, okay, you know what, I choose you. So, it is what it is.
So let me ask this question, and I don't know what everybody's belief system is, but, the Bible kind of, it gives that guidance of your wife comes first, or your husband comes first. So, when you enter into a relationship and do you guys have that thought process, especially having kids? I know for me, I kind of think about that simply because it's been me and my kids for a long time. And as a woman, there's some expectations to submit and to allow the man to lead the household. And I'm going to admit I struggle with that because I've led for a very long time and, been the only parent for 3 children. And so when I think about the idea of involving someone else's thoughts and opinions and decisions, it's a big struggle. And because I want to do things right, but then it's like, and when I say right, I want to allow my man to be the man. I want to allow my man to make the decisions. But then it's like, dude, I know them like the back of my hand. And to have someone else come in and they have a thought of the way that things should go based on raising their own children or how they were raised, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You know what? I might need to wait till my youngest child is 18 and gone, because I don't know if I can yield that kind of control, because I've had to keep it for so long. So for you guys, how do you kind of, because I know you said you had to make that adjustment and say that that person wasn't for you, but does there come a time where you say, okay, what me and my mate have, when we sync up, that will be what makes our family, our kids that are not together, and if we choose to have additional kids, that will be the thing that actually brings it to be a stronger union and a stronger family. Because I think a lot of times we have these individual mindsets, and it actually prevents the family unit from progressing because we break things off. I know I said a lot. I'm sorry.
The role of husband, wife, and child, like back to your Bible reference, it don't say like boyfriend, girlfriend, and child.
Exactly.
That's my whole stance on it. But at the same time, you still have to play your position, play your role, and like make sure you are presenting yourself to be husband material. And same thing with the wife. So like, to me, it's just like everybody. I don't know how to explain it. I guess everybody just do what you know is right. You know what I mean? More so, what you want. You know what the outcome is. What you want as far as like husband, wife, and then child, and just have that understanding as you progress through the relationship. But you can't say, okay, put me first, put me first, put me first, and you're not putting the man first. Like you're not being submissive to the man. Not that you have to be submissive, because I don't really necessarily agree with that. It's just because the Bible says it. But I'm all about balance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you balance me, I balance you. Like if there's no real control in this household. You know what I mean? So when it
like that, when I say, all right, what if my sons treat your daughters how you treat women, or in a disrespectful way? How would you like that if and well, that ain't the same thing. Yes, it is, in my opinion. So how do you look at your approach to women as it pertains to being a father of daughters?
It doesn't really sway me either way, because I've always been raised.
Shit.
I've always been raised to respect, women and talk to them the correct way. So I've never been in a situation where I felt like I had to disrespect somebody, because I'm gonna approach you as equal, and I want you to do the same.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, and you can tell me I'm going too far or not. So you said that you don't disrespect them, but at a point in one of your relationships, you admitted that you had cheated.
Yes.
So during that time of cheating, and I'm saying this because hey, daddy, love you. But my dad has been guilty of infidelity. And I used to be like, when I used to get cheated on a lot, I had to see, was that because it was some karma from how he treated women? Man, I cried about this at one point. Why are you laughing?
No, it's legit.
Or was it because I was attracted and, to someone who had the qualities that, my dad showed that some of them weren't good? Or did I become immune to it because I had to admit cheating was not the first deal breaker, simply because I grew up in a house and I knew what was going on because I'm nosy. And so I knew my daddy was cheating when I was young because I'm nosy. And I'm like, hey, dude, where you going? And you're not taking me because I was a daddy's girl. So then I started figuring things out. So when you say, like, okay, I do get that you're respectful just from my interaction with you. But when that decision comes to, like, okay, well, I'm probably going to cheat. I'm going to step out. I'm going to do this. Like you said, it doesn't sway you as far as your daughters because of who you are, as far as your character. But why doesn't it, like, being a father, why wouldn't that be like, okay, you know what, I wouldn't want my daughter to be treated like that, so I'm probably not going to cheat on this chick simply because. Does that don't never kick into you, like, to think like that?
No, because
I just want to know how men think.
A man just don't do what he want to do.
Right. It's a different type of situation.
Like, and if you cheating, you trying to do something not to be caught anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm in a different space in life where I feel like I don't want to have to be in that situation where I want to cheat anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just look at it as like a different type of love. Like, I mean, like, I love my daughter one way, and then, like, I lust or whatever you want to call it when you go into the situation where you might cheat or whatever. You're looking at that person totally different. You're not looking at that partner to be or that sexual partner, whatever it is, the same way you're looking at your kids. So, now, granted, by me having a daughter, it makes me think a little different as to some of the places, like, I'll visit and some of the things that I'll do. Mm-hmm. But, like, just because my mind works that way, I guess, and I just don't want to ever see my daughter in that situation, and I know that's somebody else's daughter at the end of the day. So, right. Like, but when it comes to, like he's saying, like, cheating or something like that, you're not thinking with your head at that point. Not that, So.
Yeah, Lawana said y'all think with the head down below.
I just laughed
because
I'm like, he was like, I've been disrespectful. He's like, I used to cheat all the time early. Like,
who said that? All the time?
No.
Well, I'm like, say all the time. Don't be too aware.
He said a lot.
I have another question.
A lot.
Because we're in, not we. I mean, I'm married, but you all in your 30-somethings. 30-something. And you're married. I mean, you're not married, but you're dating. How is that different from? How is that different? How is that different from dating in your 20-somethings? Because I know that women become a lot more independent in their 30-somethings. And how has that been in you all's interactions with ladies as far as the independent women?
Yeah, because I mentioned.
Do you all usually push away or move away from those type of situations, or do you want somebody that shows that they need you or they would appreciate you all being in their life for help? Help. HELP.
For me, I think I've always dated older. Now that I'm getting older, I'm dating older. You know what I mean? Because I've always been that kind of provider for that person. And so it's like, I guess just being blunt, I don't want somebody to have to raise. I don't want somebody to have to take care of. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to be able to, like, step up. You know what I mean?
Raise.
Like, if something, Lord forbid, something happened to me, like, I need to know that you got everything handled. You know what I mean? Or I don't need you necessarily looking like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do in 5 years. Like, I asked this woman one time, like, this girl, I'm going to say one time at this point, like, what's your 5-year plan? And she didn't have an answer. You know what I mean?
How old was she?
We don't get all that, but she was younger. You know
I think that's important to know.
She was late.
You don't want to tell us she was dating somebody in their 20s.
She was late 20s. She was like 29, like 28 or 29. But like, she didn't have a goal. Like, if you don't have a goal about yourself, like, what can I do with you? You know what I mean? And then I've dated older chicks too that I'm like, hey, what's your 401? Do you have a 401k? Do you have a retirement like set up?
That's a question.
So, and they were like, they didn't even know what 401k was.
Oh,
so I was like, oh, like,
if that's a plan.
I don't, you know, I ask because I have financial goals.
You have one.
Yes.
Right. So I want to know what
and
you
I need
have.
to know what you bring it to the table. Yeah, I'm not gonna take care of you like my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be able to take care of yourself. Something gonna happen to me one day. We're not promised tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's how I
I've
look
proven
at it.
that I can take care of myself, so now I can be taken care of.
All right, man.
What about you,
I've been
Monroe?
taken care of.
You don't have a lot to say.
I forgot the original question.
Dating independent women or something?
Yes.
How's it different?
How
How's
has
it
that
different?
been for you in your 30s?
Well, it's a lot different now because when I was in my 20s, I was like the relationship type of person. I never really just lived my life like a young person is supposed to live, as far as exploring and, you know, things of that nature. But now I'm older, and that's what caused me to go down infidelities with my past relationship, and I realized I was a late bloomer at it. So now I'm in a space where I'm ready for commitment, and I'm ready to be, you know, with one person, and I don't have to worry about stepping out on them. That's my outlook on from my 20s to my 30s.
Didn't somebody say that a lot of people get in relationships and they haven't quite got their whole phase?
They went through their whole phase.
So they're wild oats. But why do you have to have a 3 or 4 phase? Because I don't
men
curse.
have to have that.
I think it's for women too, though, because curiosity kills the cat.
Maybe
like,
women.
I have a cousin who has been with the same guy since she was in high school. They have 2 children together. She's younger than me. She's actually 27. And I always tell her that they set a great example for the family of, you know, black love, sticking together, raising your children together. Her name's Shadaria. Hey, cousin, love you, proud of you. But I really am. I don't think that you have to test everything.
But you don't know what they go through behind closed doors.
You don't know what is going on behind closed
You just
doors.
on the outside looking in.
No, I'm not saying that they don't go through stuff. I'm not saying that, and it ain't my business. What I'm saying is that what I see is that regardless of what they go through behind closed doors, they are still working to keep their family together, growing their family, stacking that 401k you mentioned, you know, attaining new things and raising their children, you know, in a 2-parent household. So I'm not saying that they've never struggled or had any issues or arguments, you know, because black folks, we like to argue. So I'm not saying that there haven't been any problems. I'm just saying that you don't have to always sow your oats from field to field. You can be with one person for a long time.
I mean, you
But
can.
you can, but there's,
You saying that
it's
because
an,
you
it's
have
an
felt.
exception
But,
to
I mean,
every
I
rule.
feel,
Like,
I feel like I understand what you're saying, and I see both sides. I see women, you know, it's like you have to personify this good girl image, right? So you're doing all this good girl stuff. And to some degree, you're repressed. Like, there's things that you would like to do, you're not doing because you realize that goes against the acceptable standards for women. I feel like sometimes what I admire about men is that oftentimes they do whatever the hell they need to do to make themselves happy. Whether it works for us or not, whether we're happy about their decision, they do what the hell they want from majority of the time. And I feel like even when you say just sowing your oats, it's kind of just doing what you want to do and not being constrained by certain standards. I know women that are married are 40 years old, have never even had an orgasm. I would like lose my mind, and I'm married, right? So guess what? I've been married. I still ain't had one, but mind you, I spent my whole time I was being just this prim, proper, blah blah blah. I've seen it. I've seen so many different scenarios. So I think it really varies, but everyone's gonna have their own thing. However, I don't see anything wrong with either. I think you do what works for you. But I feel like if you're doing something but you're not really living your values, because maybe you're doing it because, again, this looks nice on paper, or when I say this, you know, I'm going to gain more respect. But at the end of the day, too, if you're feeling you're oppressed, that shit's bound to come out eventually. Maybe it's going to come out when you're drinking. It's going to come out like you're going to have this episode. It varies, but I feel like if you're holding back and not really being true to who you are, authentic, or to who you want to be, it will pose a problem eventually down the road.
Okay, so I'm gonna read a comment. Because my best friend, she been blowing up the comments. So let me read. Hey Ashley, I'm gonna read a part of her comment because she done gave us a thesis statement. But she says she disagrees that people should communicate, and I'm gonna just shorten it.
What does she disagree with?
About I guess the cheating, and you should communicate if you're unhappy. But we single, we not married actually, so we can't really meet these marriage standards that you're telling us to meet.
Well, I think if you're in a relationship,
says yes. Well, I guess if you're in a relationship too. But she says if you are married, it is the job of the spouse, in her opinion, to meet her spouse's needs. I don't agree with that, love you, but I don't think that it's the spouse's job to meet their spouse's needs. I think that two people need to come together whole, and then we add to them. I don't think, because, look, I could be doing everything and meeting your needs, but guess what? You might feel like you need what just walked past you. And then now you have affected my self-esteem because you needed what old girl had to offer. And it's not that what I had to offer wasn't good and that I wasn't making you happy and that I wasn't doing what I needed to do. You just haven't matured as a man to say, you know what? This is enough for me. I'm satisfied. I'm content. I'm happy. That doesn't take away that the spouse isn't meeting that person's need. That other person might just not have mastered self-control. So for that reason, I can't say, no, it's my job to meet your needs. No, it's your job to find satisfaction and contentment with what I'm bringing to the table.
But you should have found that when we decided to commit to this relationship.
To being married, right? And that's why I ain't even finna let nobody.
It's my responsibility to.
I ain't finna let nobody test drive me.
But I think too, you shouldn't not do something just because.
I'm not talking about just sexually though.
No, me neither.
No, because
I didn't say nothing.
But when I said that, y'all was like.
I just think to me your example, if dudes see whatever walk past and he still is lustful after that or whatever, that shouldn't take away from what your responsibility as a spouse is. Just because you go out and cheat as a woman or you want to do what you want to do as a woman, as me as a man, I took a vow to be there for you. You know what I mean? Better or worse. So I'm not gonna let you send me to hell. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
So you would stay with
your responsible for our individual parts.
Exactly.
What you do, how you live,
how
has
you
nothing
live your
to do
life,
with me.
that's on you. That's
you won't reap the karma.
Men will not stay with a woman who cheats.
I couldn't do it.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
They're not gonna try to fix it. They're not gonna try to work nothing
but
out.
It's not
they're
gonna
not gonna say
what
was wrong with me.
Honey,
let me know. They're not gonna do that.
It's different for a
But
man.
you saying that you.
But I'm not gonna
shortchange.
I'm not gonna shortchange what I am bound to do for you just because you choose to do how you live your life.
But I didn't say that the woman should shortchange what she's.
But you said it's not the spouse. It is the spouse's responsibility because you became a spouse.
I feel like it's not even extreme as cheating. It could be going different. You could be into it. Let's say you and your mate are having a problem, but going back to maybe your mates is their big day. There's a time and place for everything too, right? So I could sit up here and walk here, have an attitude. I could come up to your job, but again, also because of who I am. This is how I love. I'm going to support you despite how I'm feeling right now, despite what you might be doing. You may not be doing something I like, but I'm still going to play my part. Because at the end of the day, my karma is my karma. Your karma is your karma. So I can't just whoop out on you or basically disrespect you because maybe I thought, you deserve this at this time.
I didn't say disrespect.
Well, I'm just using that with cheating is disrespect.
But you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, you're saying
that sometimes you're gonna have to support your mate.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to.
I think that you should do that.
Even even on those moments, or even be there. Sometimes they might be insecure, so I can't be like, well, you know what? You should always be confident. Nah, it might be my job to still speak life into them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Worse, at all aspects of it. So
you become a unit. You're one to some degree, but I think as individuals, you're responsible for your happiness. But your mate, we should be helpmates. We should be. Well, what is it? What can I do for you? Or what is it that I can do to help? And vice versa. If we all had that attitude too, a lot of us will be in relationships. A lot of people just want to see what they can get sometimes because they've been burned too. So it's but there's no relationship that's not going to require some kind of effort. They're going to want something from you. Vice versa. We're not here to not help each other.
Our relationship.
I think that you should help and support, but I don't think that you should just be the need meter, because what I'm
not
basically
giving you my
saying,
laptop, so
no, what I'm saying is if a person has all these prerequisites for you to meet, and then you're meeting them and you're doing them and they are seemingly happy, but then they're stepping out or they're not being honest that, hey, your macaroni really don't taste good, and they going out and going to go eat some macaroni somewhere else, or whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is, you can't be doing all of this and then you busting your butt, and because that'll create insecurities in the other person.
A resentment.
And resentment, because they're meeting those needs.
Oh, so sorry. Go ahead.
We made this announcement earlier. It's all right. Jason, my friend called you blue shirt. No, you were supposed to share earlier. At any rate, so I'm just saying that can cause some insecurities in a person who's making those efforts. It can also cause resentment, because it's like, but I did everything.
And I
all my life I had to fight.
Right, but and then I agree.
I had to fight my mama. I had to fight my kids to get out my bed.
That go back to honesty though. Like, you got to be honest in the beginning.
Right.
But then
if you establish honesty, then you won't have to worry about nothing down the road.
And then too, I still like that double back. That at the end of the day, it's always gonna be a risk too. So you gonna have to, like, you can't, because the thing is, sometimes we all hear, well, shit, I'm gonna see your cars, I ain't showing you mine, and you feel like yours is great, but I ain't showing you mine until you show me yours. And then somebody gotta show something. We all out here walking around like we scared to step up and do our part. Then at the end of the day, the outcome we get is to be expected. I half-asses, I didn't walk all the way in there, so I can't expect all the way in results. Like, so, and I feel like the fear holds a lot of us back, or it kind of prevents us from also just saying what we really want, or what we feel. We kind of like, I'm gonna see who you are first, and I'll start to feel. But even too, I do understand that as far as relationship wise, I do have to know you, decide what role you could play in my life. So maybe you might just be a friend. I can get to know you, but there's certain needs that you probably can't meet. And then, so I feel like too, as far as establish a relationship, it's like a particular person. They have to have this, and this. And that means like the intangible, not just the tangible.
So then you need to make sure that you're content with what that person is bringing to the table, and you don't have this real long checklist and thick book of what he or she should do in order to, I mean, there are certain qualities that you want them to meet that are important, but then you have to kind of, remove other qualities. Not height, though. I just want to be clear.
I'm okay with
that
height.
you can say that if I'm 5'8", that I don't want someone who is 5'8" or shorter. You can't say that, and I'm saying that for my good friend Chippy watching.
So for the gentleman, is there certain things that you do not want, or you have completely checked off your list? Like, I don't want a woman that's like that. Or a woman that looks like that. Let's talk about physical features either, because us women, we do, and we have said that, oh, he's not tall enough, or he doesn't, he's not the right size, or he doesn't have the right complexion, whatever it is. Do you all have those type of things that basically knock people off the list also?
I think we have preferences.
Yeah,
but it's not necessarily a deal breaker either. You know what I mean?
Would they put him at a disadvantage? They're like, well, now you number 2. You could, if you were taller, you would have been number 1. But
Monroe do so much thinking and less talking. He just thought and deep thought.
Hey, this is my guest I brought, who I won them shoes for. So you gonna treat him like he important, smart, kind, and important, because he is. But no, seriously, do you have like
I
references?
really don't have like a. I mean,
so you would talk to an ugly girl?
If she had a nice body, then yes, I would. I'm a man at the end of the day. Why would I pass that up?
I'm not.
I am not going
What
to be
if she didn't have a nice body?
Well, it's two
but she had a
different
cute face.
It's two
so
types
a butterface?
But I feel like personality can make someone more attractive.
It's two types of talking to.
Like, they could be eyed.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You see quality in certain people that you might not see in other people. Like, if I see somebody attractive, but then I get to talking to them and it's really not clicking up here, then I'm just gonna want them for sex. It's nothing more than we can have.
Do you ever just not want to have sex with them?
Yeah, I've established meaningful relationships with people that I thought it could be something, but on their end, it wasn't there for me. So they didn't feel the same way that I did. So I just like,
That goes back to, I hear that stuff all the time. People are like, well, I always like people, but they don't like liking me. Which a part of me kind of wonders, like, it's kind of BS.
Some people just not ready.
And I can see that, but then I can also see you not really being ready and gravitating to people that aren't ready because you see certain things in them. And so you're also even more understanding because you see you. Like, even for me, I'm funny about time, so I'm not the biggest person. If you don't spend a lot of time with me, I'm okay with that. That doesn't mean that I don't want more time, but I know that I'm I have my little funky ways. I can be moody, things like that. So I'm accepting of some things. But what I will say is that even recently, we've been having this conversation about this. There was a couple things that came up, like, too. I've noticed some similarities with my father. There's things I probably like, well, I love my dad, but I wouldn't want that in a man. So then I'm looking at also my pattern.
Hey, Daddy.
Like, I'm looking at my pattern. No. Like, I hope that this isn't, like, is this because of that pattern? Then the other piece is, too, if I'm saying I want a relationship, there are people that want to give me a relationship. But then it's like, yeah, I don't want it from you or blah, blah, blah. But it's like, but I almost gravitate again to the person that offers the least pressure, which then makes me think maybe I don't want a relationship because, in essence, someone's willing to step up. They want the responsibility. They want me to be in like, yeah, no. But you can romanticize like, yeah, I want a relationship. I just ain't met the right person. The person I like don't like me. You not ready for a relationship and you gravitating to people not ready for a relationship. It's safe there, too.
Buy me
no one gets hurt.
And tell me I'm pretty.
And you get to be the good person.
Do you have a preference?
That's what I want.
Yeah, I have preferences of what I want, but like.
He like a long, hair, thick, red bone.
Man.
He's like
No, I got preferences, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's not a deal breaker with me either. Like, if I click with you, I click with you. You know, I like those who like me. If we can get along, then, we'll work it out. But at the end of the day, like, when was the question, would you like date an ugly girl or something like that? First off, I don't want to call anybody ugly, but you know what I mean? But I do want somebody that's attractive, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to walk in a room with her and nobody heads her.
You got to get that.
Now I got
I think that's a key point. And a girl, when I was in high school, which I was really young and I didn't really understand it, but I was a tomboy in high school, and she told me that every guy wants a girl. When she walks in a room, other guys turn and they think, oh, like, she's nice. Whoa, like she's something. I had on basketball shorts and J's, and I was like, I don't care about that. I just want them to like me. But as I got older and I realized that, I don't know if it's that men need that extra.
It's an ego boost.
Yeah, like an ego boost.
They checking
There's some kind of validation associated with that.
Right, but they want that. So it is important as women to keep up a certain look and a certain, you know what I'm saying? You need to be somebody when you walk in the room. When you're on another man's arm, you can't just walk in any kind of way. You can't be the one that they think everybody can get. So I understand what it is that you're saying when you want a woman that somebody turns their head and looks and says, oh.
And she ain't got to be pretty for everybody. She could be the most gorgeous thing in my eyes, but at the same time, I need
at least 3 people.
Yeah, well, somebody
gotta
be
do
like,
it.
I don't want them to look and shake their head. And be like,
or not look at all.
You want them to give you I feel like, bro.
Yeah, they'll say something like,
why are you single?
What you say?
Let's end with why are you single? Because we gotta wrap it
up. Why is who? We gotta go through and answer this.
We asked that question on the.
Why are you single?
That question.
What is this?
Like, cause I'm not.
Wrap it up.
Why did I get married too? We gotta go through like.
How y'all want to wrap it up?
Janet Jackson and Tyler Perry and them. Why did I get married? I got married because. Okay, I'm just giving Kamiko a hard time, but she wants us to end with why are you single? So we're gonna cooperate, and I'm gonna be last.
Oh,
Monroe, tell the people why are you
We're
single? Yeah, because we done ran long, so we gotta end.
Well, I feel like I'm single because I haven't met someone that's equally yoked.
What does that mean?
Like you have to have the same. You have to have the same drive, like to want me like I want you. You have to bring something to the table other than just me being everything. Does that make sense?
So she wants something that she has her own thing going on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you gotta have some drive. A lot of women don't have drive. They just content on where they at in life.
And can you tell people real quick how to reach you for the customized shoes, your Instagram and your Facebook, really quick?
Head Turner Customs, all across the board.
All right, y'all got that.
Head Turners. Is it spelled?
It's spelled like it said.
Head Turners.
Oh, with the E or no A.
Head Turners.
No ghetto stuff.
Enunciate. Turners. Jason, why are you single? Because the women ain't got no 401k. To match yours.
That's probably about.
That's what I heard.
No, I'm single by choice, man. I'm single to the point that I find like that one that it's kind of like you said, like that one that wants to match me in my drive, my dedication, my life, not only like in love, but in like financially and spiritual and stuff like that. So once I find that one, I'm like what you said. I'm interviewing. You know what I mean? We'll see.
Nobody
But no, I want somebody, like you said, equally yoked. I want somebody that's gonna bring something to the table as well too. And it don't have to match mine. It don't, you can be doing better than me. But
but you can't have $10 in there.
But you can't look to me to like, do everything. I can be the man in the situation, but I can't be like that man.
The purse.
Yeah.
The bag.
I can't get a bag for you. That's not gonna work. So
Marie, they wanna know, why are you single with your pretty self?
Because I'm single. Not in a relationship.
And that's her answer. And that's it. She don't gotta say nothing else because she's not in a relationship. And as for me and my household, I have not yet to find that man who wants to invest in my pizza dreams, my pizza business. No, it's like I said, because I want to be, and I mean, it's layers to that. And if I find you valuable enough to share those layers, then I will share those layers. Right. But, there was a situation that I was in for a long time that I had to heal from, and I don't believe in coming to someone broken and, not whole. And then, I've been raising these kids, and that's been my priority. That's the truth. And I want to be where I want to be, and I think the person that's for me, he gonna come with that box of pizza and that pizza engagement ring, and we gonna put this thing together. So thank you guys for tuning in to 30 Something Podcast. We ran very long tonight, but y'all were very patient, and thank you for Brantley and Bentley Fine Foods for coming through with the turkey legs and the macaroni and cheese and all that good fixings. Jason for being a wonderful guest, and also for Monroe for being a wonderful guest, and also for me winning those shoes. I'm still stoked about that. Cause I ain't never won nothing, y'all.
You know that week.
No, I'm lying. I was winning all week. I was so hyped. But thank y'all for coming to the show tonight and sharing the male perspective of dating, being single, and what year is it? 2019. All right, tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat place, with a few different faces, and of course the familiar faces. And Drea has probably left the building because we have taken so long. But good night, y'all. Like and share and subscribe to YouTube. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye. Drea!
We still lying.
She let her.